Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner, Albert Campman. Albert, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We'll talk a little bit about the big boys later, but I want to start with a local guy I happened to be watching yesterday. I'm watching the LIV as I'm switching through, and anytime I see that Jason Kokrak is anywhere near the lead, I watch a little closer because of your buddy Joe Allen. We've had him on the radio with us many times, and I was looking, and he gave it an effort. When you shoot 63 in the final day, you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he has went out of sight a little bit in the Live Tour, but anybody graduated from this area, graduated from War of JFK,
Yeah.
we'd like to follow him. Jason Kokrak, we mentioned Joe Allen was his personal coach when he was growing up. Final round, 63, 7 birdies, -7. Came in at -18, one off the lead of Brooks Koepka, who ended up winning the tournament. But a lot of local athletes have gone and done great things. I don't know a lot of them have made as much money as Kokrak, George.
No, because that's the thing people miss. Even when he wasn't on the LIV,
Right.
I'd look up his earnings and I'd be like, dang.
Yes.
You know, you
Millions.
don't realize what they're playing for.
Yeah, not
That's the
thousands.
point.
Yeah, not thousands.
They're playing for millions. I was
Yes.
reading the other day, the one guy was mad. Horschel, or one of them, was upset with the announcers for saying what, and the guy said, "What do you mean? That's
How
part
much
of
money you make? You make
Yeah,
money? Wow.
you know, they're getting ready here. They're getting this tourney ready for that FedEx at the end, and
Yeah.
you know the big boys there. I just don't like starting a guy -10.
that's
mean-
a tough role.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 3 or 4 back, that's not Joe Schmo. That's Scotty Scheffler you're
Right.
trying to catch. But no, I think with Kokrak, as you said, maybe off the radar a little bit with the LIV, but don't think for a minute he's not cashing checks.
Yeah, there's a lot of checks, a lot of money to be made out there.
Yes.
Also locally, from Badger, Ohio, the Blaney family's been famous this past weekend across the border in Sharon. The Lou Blaney Memorial was raised for Alzheimer's. Lou Blaney, a tremendous local racer, has passed it down to his son Dave, and now Ryan is one of the great racers in NASCAR. Ryan Blaney was a 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Yes, he was.
You ever take him, George?
I did it. Usually the week after he wins, but that's beside the point. Now, I'm really good. Like, if you want to know who's going to win NASCAR, find out who I had last week. Because that, I can't tell you, because my buddies love him. So when they tell me he's going to win, I have to take it with a grain of salt because they love the guy.
Because they like the
He
local
could be racing against,
I got it.
you know,
Whatever.
Richard Petty
Yes.
in a match race, and they'd have Blaney. But the truth is he's excellent. And you know what he does? He's always in there.
Always.
That's the key there.
Yeah, he's always in there.
Yeah.
The one thing about the Blaneys, they're aggressive drivers, and I'll take that any time. When George and I used to go to the track, we would take any driver and would go to the front early.
Get that,
hey, give us a chance
get that
at least.
cart out front, or
give
get
us a
that
chance.
thoroughbred out front. I'll cuss him out if he gets caught later. But
Yes.
no, these guys. And let me tell you too, he does some powerful commercials for Alzheimer's on our station and the radio.
Yeah, when somebody in your family has that, and you see it in action, it hits home a little more than some from a distance. When they can't remember your name, or they can't remember what happened 2 weeks ago, or some great thing in your family. So the Lou Blaney Memorial is a great thing, and don't forget he won over 600 races too. But Lou passed away from battling Alzheimer's. Congratulations to their family doing something in beholding of the great Lou Blaney.
Yeah, that's like you said, it's a tradition there. They've owned that track for a long time. And we have a mutual friend who's very close with him, very close friend.
Uh-huh.
But as you said, that Alzheimer's has done more damage, destroyed more families. And I had a buddy, you know, I hadn't been as familiar with it. And I had a buddy who would, you know, go see his father, and his father wouldn't recognize him.
Sad.
And that is very, very. And we had a
Sad.
buddy who coached with us, coached at Greensburg, and he would go visit his mom, and she wouldn't know which brother he was. Mm-hmm. She would think he was her dad or something like that. So anything that you can do to help them out in any way when they're raising money or whatever, dig in your pocket because it could be used someday.
Family, it's any family. That's right.
That's right.
No, it's not. It doesn't just say, okay, this is just for rich people or poor
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly. Good point.
Youngstown State graduate Derek Rivers signed with the Indianapolis Colts on Wednesday. I remember when he would wreak havoc in the rushing the passer. I think it was against Pitt or Ohio State. One of those big time teams.
I think it was West Virginia, and they told the guy they said to the coach, they said
West Virginia.
These defensive ends at Youngstown. He said, "Let me tell you something, buddy. They were the best we played against."
Yeah, so it was.
And they were in the Big 12.
Yes,
that's no joke.
No, so it was. I'm glad you remember that, George. That was a good memory. Well, he spent the practice squad with the Colts and the Texans. If they want a pass rusher, he's good for that. He has to stay healthy, get after the quarterback. But you can make a living in the NFL getting after quarterbacks. You don't have to be great against the run as long as you can rush the pass.
Yeah, you get 10, 12 sacks, you're cashing big checks.
Exactly.
You don't need 20. You don't need 15. But as you say, that league pays off with quarterback sacks.
Yeah, in camp right now, that is what they're looking for. They're looking for guys that get to the passer, and they'll pay you money.
Yeah,
and
hey,
so that's it.
That's a good point you mentioned. Like certain skills, like I would call him a specialist.
He is.
Like a pinch hitter almost. You play him on third down, and you say sick him.
Yeah, people get in the Hall of Fame rushing the passer. That don't mean they're great stopping the run. And let's hope Derek Rivers lands on his feet on Indianapolis
and just share with our viewers the difference in salary between the practice squad and just being the last guy.
It's $100,000.
It's $100 and some compared to almost $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's huge. Like when people say they're on the practice squad, that still beats working at
right.
You know,
we talk about that.
But it's not what it would be. You know, these guys that even making the minimum are doing rather well, and they're doing something they love. And like we said, what's happened now? I'm watching the Rams, and these guys are just going over and over. And you say it all the time. There are only 4 or 5 spots available.
That's all it is.
And you better be able to play special teams. Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Forget it if you can't.
There's no other way, because if they're going to keep you,
yeah,
and you're down to the final 4 or 5, you're not going to get in the game a whole lot as a starter, or even as a backup.
No.
But you could change the game on special teams.
Yeah, that's the truth, and I think that's what you have to hope for.
People watch the exhibition. I know you watch them. Yeah. Have they been kicking the ball in the end zone? What's been happening with the kickers?
Just small returns.
Okay.
They're not banging it out of the end zone all the time. I think they want to work on what they're doing a little bit too. You know, I'm not saying they won't bang everyone out September 8th, but right away, I think they want to see what's going on here.
I see if they can cover it.
Yeah, see if they can cover it. And it appears that they are. I'm not seeing too many long ones, to tell you the truth.
Right.
And the guy at Pittsburgh, he's as good at returning kicks as there is, that Cordero Patterson. And I watched the Rams the other night, and they didn't do it in a couple other games. But as you say, the safe way out's just to bang it in.
I was wondering if they were still doing that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a smart way. Well, that's a smart way.
Yeah, for me it would be.
Yeah. Now, MLB, we're going down the stretch here, Albert. We're not quite there yet, but it's getting to where those losses, they're the kind you don't sleep. Like when you had 2 on and none out in the ninth, and you don't get the tying run in. Mm-hmm. That's one of those keep you up all night jobs. Let's talk about it. Cleveland, 5-5 in the last 10, but that breath they hear behind them is the Twins.
And Kansas City's right behind them.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yeah, Kansas City swept the Reds. They're right, very close, but they've been ahead all year. I expect Cleveland to hold the lead. I really do. They don't have any major losing streaks. They're 5-5 is usually their worst.
Talk about Class A. I mean, there's good, then there's ridiculous.
Yeah, right now he's the best, and and they also have the best bullpen. So that's why they have the record they do. They have people put the ball in play. They have a bullpen that holds the lead after 7 innings, and they got the best closer in baseball. No question.
I think, Al, I'm pretty sure they're 61-0 when they're heading the 8th inning.
That'll win some
games.
Now,
come on, Al.
That'll win some games.
Come on, Al.
The Yankees would like to have that.
Oh, my God. By the way, he blew his 10th save. He's 26 up, 10 down.
Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never been a great closer.
Okay.
He's got decent stuff.
He's playing there. He's closing, but he shouldn't be, you're saying?
He'd be a great 8th grade pitcher.
I know. They said his slider's good, but it hits the bats. Mm-hmm. And you can't. Now, the Pirates. 2-8 the last 10.
I'm glad they got to 2.
Yeah, I have to admit, Friday and Saturday, I was a little bit happy.
to get the two.
Then yesterday, I thought they were going to run out of fireworks. I thought they were going to have to call Zambelli in about the fourth inning and say, hey, Seattle's knocking all the, for God's sake. It was 4-0 before I even got my lunch down.
Yeah, that's why you miss Jones. No question about that. And,
yeah.
It's hard to put a minor league pitcher in there and he gives you one decent performance, but you know sooner or later
Yeah.
they're going to get him.
He was doing a lot of these, putting his head, like after he threw
Right.
it, because two of them, the outfielders didn't move. You know how they don't, when they they just look up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, now the deal with them, 5 years they've been at this. 4 out of 5 they've been in 5th place. But 1 year they got 4th. I guess that's a big deal. But with that pitching, if they would make a few deals in the offseason, they could be very relevant.
It's going to be up to Nutting.
He has spent some money
That's
out.
the sad part of it is that
Yeah.
when you spend 29th.
Yeah, you get 29.
No, that's Oakland. That's what it is. I mean, you're going to be in last place.
And by the way, they're the hottest team in the league since the All-Star break.
Yeah, but they still have a trial. They're going to win 65, 70
That's
games.
all we needed, 58.
But I'm saying that tells you that when you don't spend any money.
No, it's what you get. But it's like shopping at Gabe's or shopping at some fancy store.
Just a fact.
When you shop at Gabe's, you get Gabe stuff. It's nice.
Yeah, they're lucky because the Pirates have a draft. The pitchers have come through at the same time.
Now, are they to the point
this
where
is
they
their
can
place.
trade one of those?
No.
You would keep
No,
you wouldn't trade
they couldn't.
one.
They cannot.
Remember last year
It happened this year. Jones went down.
But how about Bednar last year? Had you traded
I
him
would have
for
traded
2
him
hitters?
last year.
Yeah, you would have.
The problem is, and I'll say it again on the show, they thought they made a trade for a good hitter. And I kept saying all along, there aren't any good hitters out there. So they got Dela Cruz, or whatever his name is.
Oh, my gosh.
And he has it. Remember, everybody in baseball said, what a great
Yeah,
trade
get
by
him and the guy
Pirates.
from the Yankees.
What a great
The
trade.
guy that went from Miami.
And he's out. He's hurt.
He's out. He's hurt. Well, that's Pittsburgh. Even going to Pittsburgh, he'd have gotten hurt too. Okay, let's look at the big boys. A couple of the big boys are swatting flies, or they call it raking, I guess, in today's term. Judge, 44 dingers.
He's just a great hit player, that's all. And they're going to walk him as many times as they can. They better get a guy behind him. Because he's getting walked a lot.
And Ohtani.
Yeah, and he's a great hitter too. That's who he is. And both of them are great players.
Yeah. Ohtani has that rare, and I mean rare combination. He's going to steal 45 bases.
Yeah, he can run, but I'll tell you, he's been bad for 3 weeks. He's been really
Running.
bad. No, hitting.
Oh, hitting.
No,
He's been a
he's
slump.
went in the tank.
Yeah,
they're lucky they have Betts coming back and Freeman there.
They were bringing Freeman back after his son got better, and then they were bringing the second baseman back right about the same time.
Yeah,
So.
Let's had a good year.
Now, Witt, 350.
Shortstop, you don't get that.
That's unusual, though. It is unusual.
That's why he's
right?
such a great player.
Yeah.
The other outfielders are supposed to hit.
Right.
Or DHs are supposed to hit.
Right, not middle
but
infielders.
not shortstops.
Not
second
middle
baseman.
infielders,
Yeah,
for
no
sure.
question.
Also, he has the most hits.
Yeah, he's first, second, or third every category.
Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
It's gonna be interesting who gets the MVP, Judge or
And
Witt.
Judge with 111 RBIs.
It's a lot of RBIs.
That is out, because you
Yeah.
figure there's, 40 games left, 50 games left.
Yeah, those are name players right there, big time players who
And-
back up their contract.
And we've talked about this over and over on TV, on radio. That third wild card has, I'll use the word deceived, teams into thinking they're in it, and they're not as apt to trade when there were
It's
two.
already happened. Yeah, it's already happened.
It has happened.
Not a lot of trades going to trade.
No.
They're trying to hang in there because Arizona did it last year. If you can just get in,
Yeah. Ask
you
the
have a chance
Phillies.
to go to World Series.
Ask the Phillies what happened,
That's
right?
what happened.
Yeah.
And also this year, the same thing. Arizona, San Diego, either one of those teams gets in.
They're
very dangerous.
scalding hot.
Very dangerous.
They're scalding hot. And San Diego went out and spent a little money at the deadline in their bullpen.
They knew they needed some bullpen help. And,
So they must be counting on making not that you never want to lose. They think they're going to make a run.
well, you have Cease and Musgrave at the top of your.
Yeah.
You have a great chance of throwing. Yeah.
Well, even Musgrove, his first game back, Pittsburgh didn't touch him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's what you have going. No
He didn't
question.
touch him.
And King has really stepped up in the trade they got from the Yankees. He's been unbelievable. Also.
And the playoffs should be good. I mean, I think now most.
Well, there's no
these teams-
favorite. That's one thing.
No, I thought to myself, if you asked me, Houston and Philly's the best I could come up with, and that's chalk for sure with Philly. Houston, it looks like they're going to come out of this, but the trouble with Seattle, when you saw it in Pittsburgh, as great as their pitching is, they strike out
Yeah, they hit it all.
20%, 26%
If
of it.
they hit it all, they got a chance.
Is that more
Start
than 26%? That's hard to imagine.
Everybody strikes out on their team.
But,
They come out
you ever see when they put the batting average? They have about 3 low 2s and a 1.
always every
Yeah,
game.
they're-
They made trades to try to make that better, but I could have told Sal, you waste your time because the guys you guys got can't hit either. That's my theme, by the way.
Yeah, no, most of these teams have had a losing streak. You don't want one now.
Yeah, it's the worst time.
You have to keep that
Ask Pittsburgh.
5-gamer to 2.
Ask Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
See, you had to ruin
Just
my-
go. This one, 4 out of 6, 2 more games.
No, just
four
win.
and 4 and
No,
6
4
isn't
and
bad.
6. We'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
We'll be right there at the end. No, 7-game streak either way.
Mm-hmm.
Put you in it or out of it.
You know what I heard on the radio coming in today? It was really interesting. Might be the first time in a long time that there'll be no 100-win team.
Yes.
How about that?
I did not hear that, but I every time before I come in here to do this, I check all the last 10s and this and that, and I looked at. I thought it would take a miracle for one of
28-10 or 27-10 will get 100 will get you that. It's hard to get that record.
No, you realize, like, if somebody, like, 15 and 15, and they play 19 and 11, that's just 4 games.
Still, it's a lot of games to win.
Yes,
A lot of games
yes,
to win.
it really is. Who's best set up to win? Philly with the starters?
I would have said it before, but I don't say it now. I don't, because Nola's not been pitching well at all, and you need a second pitcher. If you go by pitching, it'd be Houston, and
Yeah.
Valdez has come on that bad. And I know Verlander's waiting to come in there.
Valdez through Sunday, and he's playing.
really great.
He was playing against the White Sox. I wanted you to throw. I thought you could have got him out. I said, I think I need Al to pitch today. I mean, my gosh, you talk about a JV lineup, and then they want. Their cars are packed.
Yes.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that
That's
kind
the
of
other
season.
thing. Their cars are packed.
Yes.
Let's talk NBA. Now, the only talk now about the NBA is the Olympics. And please, don't tell me on Twitter how good the Sixers are going to be, because my everlasting picture in my mind is Embiid laying on the floor and some lady pushing his knee back. I don't want to hear about Embiid till he does it. Now, once he does it, I'll shut up. I've offered right now, if he wins it, I will get on here and say, I was wrong about Joel Embiid. That guy's a gamer.
Yeah, for sure he has the talent.
Oh,
But if that was all it is, you pick the same team every year.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he can play enough games and play in the playoffs through the toughness needed.
No.
He's never showed that, George.
he's always laying on the floor. Talking about the Olympics. Now, there's a big argument going on the internet, a huge one. Charles Barkley and that big Perk. Perk is ESPN's guy. 5-point.
What are they
Perk.
arguing about?
Oh no, they're ready. They're going to come to blows if they see each other.
What are they arguing about?
The U.S. Olympics, Barkley talks crap on him for barely winning, and Perkins basically says, you don't realize how good these other teams are. This isn't 1990. That's the short version.
So one's sticking up for older teams and one's sticking up for the
Barkley
other
just talks crap on it. That's he can't help himself.
Yeah.
He's very similar to
That's
Paul.
what he does.
Yeah, and Perkins saying, listen, you're out of touch. This Serbian team was good. This French team was good.
Yeah, I'll take a pro team over those teams anytime.
Just take the winter Celtics and whoop them up.
I'll take the pro
Take
team
the same.
anytime.
Well, you have to wear the right kind of shoes. You're forgetting.
Gotcha.
How about that?
I got you.
Does that make you sick of your
makes sense,
stomach?
too.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, do you think France being so good and Serbia being so good, obviously the last results of the Dream Team taking basketball worldwide, we were they were getting our autographs the first time.
Yeah.
No more. They were talking crap.
Yeah, it's just a different time period.
Okay,
Sure.
so would you lean more towards Perk? Those teams are better than you think?
No.
You think they should wipe them up?
If the Jordan team played these guys right now,
Okay.
no, it'd be 103-58.
That
That's what it'd
French
be.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever. They had one player that really was any good.
Oh, no.
No, one.
Yeah, they had
The
one.
rest of them-
Serbia had the best player.
Yeah, Serbia, and that's why they're good. The great player.
Yeah.
No question
And that
about
one,
that.
the lefty could shoot, too. Let's give him.
But I didn't say
I'd
they
give
can't
him his
shoot. But if you guard
props.
them, they don't shoot.
Yeah, the
There's a
lefty's
difference.
a
That's
good
the difference between
player.
that team and this team. If there's any difference in my mind, it's
Well,
not offensively.
Defensively.
Defensively, this team is.
Well, Bird's team, by the time that team got there, Bird's back was shot. He wasn't
I wasn't counting him.
contributor.
The thing of that,
but
I'm not even counting him.
Jordan and
Magic Johnson.
and the guy that dunked like out of his mind for Portland too was on that
That
team.
Drexler.
Oh,
No, I
geez.
can't even describe what they have.
Yeah. Okay, now let's get back there talking about Tatum not playing. Now they won. Is that all that matters?
Yeah, that's all that matters to me.
Okay, and you agree with me? Playing, you can't play 12.
Yeah, they should know going in. He has to tell them going in. Don't come on my team
If you're,
if you think you're going to play every
I
minute.
think what
or you're not
happened.
going to play.
I think what happened.
You might not play.
Tatum, two things. One, he went the last time when people were afraid to go because of COVID, and you know he is the best player in the best team, even though Brown got the award. Playing 12 though too. We both agree. We never played 12.
Oh, you have to
I don't
tell-
think.
said
Of
you
course,
have
we never had.
You have to tell them that. That's what I
Tell
said.
them going in?
Tell them going in. You want to be a part of this team, there's a chance you aren't playing today.
Hey.
I know you never did heard that in
Hey,
your
his
life.
mom didn't think so, by the way.
That's what
She
you
was
think.
on the air.
What do you think? Is
Nah.
that common today too?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Hey, a better All-Star game, that joke they have in February or whenever they have it, U.S. versus the world would be a better game.
Probably wouldn't
Be
be.
a good game. And WNBA, 30 seconds on it, that's all. Caitlin Clark broke an all-time assist record. I know the one record they're breaking, most people in the place, my
Yeah,
God.
that was all Caitlin
And she
Clark.
does we have admitted,
It's all Caitlin
not
Clark.
that she's this or that, she does throw the ball ahead.
No, I
well.
always said she's the better passer and
Yeah.
scorer.
That she
I've always
throws the
said
ball
that.
ahead. I mean, really.
She's
well.
really good passer.
And that break for the Olympics recharged them. See, they're hoping that Major League Baseball will shut down in 28, and I don't think they will.
They're hoping for the crowds to keep up. You
No,
mean?
no, Major League Baseball, that when they have the Olympic baseball to let them play.
Olympic you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll let them play.
Okay,
That's what they're
talking about
saying.
Olympics. I got you.
All right, now, the king is here. We refer to football as the king.
What is it, about a week away?
Well, Saturday, there are about 8 or 9 games. That's called week 0. It's a week away from they're all playing the 31st. I mean, they're playing that weekend, they're playing that Thursday. That Sunday night's LSU Southern Cal.
Right. I know that week, but I'm talking about
This week.
This week, Saturday coming up. They play this week. Let's play this Saturday.
There are about 8 games.
This week already.
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
It's called week 0.
Jeez.
And the best one.
That's does that hit the 20s?
Yeah, no.
Does it hit the 20s? Like what day would that be?
Yeah, that would be 24th.
Okay.
High school's playing the night before.
Gotcha.
And the other thing, too, with it, Florida State and Georgia Tech. I mean, remember we used to do our show and Navy would be playing
In Ireland.
Notre
This game's
Dame.
in Ireland.
This game's in Ireland.
This is another game in Ireland?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
You're
okay.
exactly right. And one more thing, that game the next week, we had discussed that Penn State won it in the day and West Virginia won it at night. It's Fox's big game at noon.
Oh, they're playing it. They did move the Penn State one.
No, West Virginia won it at night. Penn State won. It's in
Penn
there.
State
Yep,
won it then. That's
Yep,
what I'm saying.
exactly
Okay,
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, there is real football. It is week 0, but there's real football. Week 1, I was trying to write down all the games, and I ended up being short. This new 12-team format has done something, although these games were scheduled previously.
Right.
What it's done, it has enabled these teams to, like the LSU, to go to Southern Cal. You don't have to be afraid. One loss is not going to hurt you.
So the schedule's going to be harder for each team. You're saying they're going to make it
Albert,
more
I would
difficult?
say in 5 years it will be everyone will have a game or two they could lose instead of those 4.
So what's going to happen to the teams that are not playing anymore? You know, the little
Yeah.
teams that
Well,
are on
that's-
schedule. Are they
we've-
going to just drop off the earth?
Albert, nobody
I
knows.
think they have to if they don't get any money.
And what's going to happen if they're D1? They're not going to go to D2 because you still need money.
Oh, yes.
They're going to go to D3.
I don't think they're even going to have a team.
So we're going to have to see what happens here. Heisman favorites are quarterbacks.
Oh, every
What's
year.
new about that?
Yeah.
Just give a separate award to rate they're
Right.
going.
Yeah, that's
But
the thing.
here's what's different. You and I have been on the air a long time. Here's what's different. Many of these quarterbacks are playing at their second or third school.
That's not going away. With the portal and the money out there, it's a runaway freight train. I mean,
You don't see that.
that's out of control. What can I say? There's nothing nothing pleases me about that at all. That it's not the college football I grew up with.
No.
I'm just talking about 5 years ago. I'm not talking about
No.
50 years ago.
No, the portal,
No,
the COVID was 4. This is the last year, by the way, of getting that year over.
Yeah, so if you're rooting for a quarterback this year, don't plan on rooting for him next year.
Well, he'll be
in
somewhere
another
else.
school, yeah.
Yeah, very,
Yeah,
very
that's
well
true.
could be.
Yeah.
Now, I just put this in there because they play the first week, and I was curious to your thoughts. Who's the first coach fired? I mean, it's a guess. It could be wrong.
Well, it's somebody's on the hot seat. Let's put it that
I
way.
got Mario Cristobal and Billy Napier, and ironically, they opened the season. Is the loser doomed?
Yeah, those talking about two hot seat guys. That's it. Those are two right there. That's
Okay.
Well, you talk about putting somebody on the hot seat immediately. You have to win.
Opening
You have
week.
to win that game. Yes.
Well, Miami, can you imagine what that guy that runs that MMA gym must have got into his pockets for to bring Ward in?
Oh, millions. I don't even think about it.
Had to be, right?
It's millions. Yes.
All right, we got about 3-4 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about preseason. It means zero. Now listen, people. You got fooled last year of Pittsburgh Steelers, fool's gold. Don't do it again. Those guys on defense are cab drivers, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, and pizza delivery men. They will not be out there.
Yeah, none of them play. It's proof that Pickett has been a tremendous player in the preseason.
Yes.
If you watch him play preseason, you thought he was John Unitas. You get into the regular season, he's not.
And they used to have 6, then they had 4, now they have 3. Tell them what's coming.
Two's coming.
Two's
Yeah,
coming.
Two's coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy.
Yeah, because they're not real games.
Yes.
And here's another thing, too. The league is such a copycat league. When the Soup Boy won and didn't play anybody for the Rams, others were rested. The one guy, remember, Belichick used to play Brady. I mean, not a...
Right.
But
everybody used to play.
let me
when there was 4 games.
They played the third
game.
in the
they
third
would play.
quarter.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, does it appear to you that they're underusing them and this is why they're not ready opening week and guys get hurt, or am I just imagining?
Yeah, I think you just imagine it. You're just used to seeing
How
it. I don't
about
think. I don't
opening
think.
week? A lot of missed tackles.
Well, a lot of things. One thing is that's from they don't tackle anymore. Not just in the
No.
games.
No.
in camp.
No.
You put a film on of the teams. They have shoulder pads and helmets on.
Nobody's
Nothing else.
It's all thud or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
Yeah, everything's thud.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And the reason, if you're not a football fan, you think, well, what are these guys talking about? Why? The salaries are so large
Yeah, that's all
that
they
if a
care
guy's
about.
going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt in the game.
Yeah, that's
He's
all
not
they
going to
care
get
about.
a hurt.
One thing they care about,
you know.
injuries. Yes, sir.
Vegas chose Minshew. I was right. I wasn't.
You like Minshew all the
Al
time.
ran into a guy at the Pirate game and thought they were going to choose the kid.
No, he wanted them to choose.
Oh, he wanted him to
He
choose.
wanted to choose.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
No, he thinks for him.
No, I'm
for
not.
the,
No,
for
I'm
the long
not.
run.
I'm not touting how good they'll be. I'm just saying. I thought at the Colts he was a different. They handled Pittsburgh last year, and I remember thinking that rookie wouldn't have been able to do that. That was just my thought. Denver's leaning toward Knicks.
He's going to be starting quarterback.
Yeah.
That's how you know how lousy they're going to be.
Hey, now how about this one? This never happens. We could go back 50 years because the quarterback generally goes to the worst team. Well, because of that trade situation, this kid that went to the Bears, they went out and got him Swifty. They went out and got him 2 great receivers. He has weapons.
Yeah, if the offensive line blocks at all, he'll have an outstanding year for a rookie. There's no question.
Nope.
Yeah, he has more weapons than anybody in.
Because usually you go to a lousy team. That's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I get it.
And the new kickoff rule looks strange. Like Al asked me before we go on, I said, I don't know. We'll give it a chance. But speaking of chances, Watson at Cleveland, it's time for him to put up.
Well, Cleveland fans are on pins and needles because they know how great he was once.
Right.
And now he's not. And
Okay.
let's hope he goes back to that way.
Last thing, you're not going to believe this. Al and I are talking on the radio Saturday. He's asking me about officials. I said, some are better than others. The official, the judge,
We're talking about judges,
MMA,
okay.
was so bad Saturday night after the one fight, they fired him on the spot and didn't let him do the semifinal. Never heard it in my life.
Well, so that's because I did. I asked George.
Yeah, and I said, no,
asked
they don't do
judges,
that.
Yes.
Well, they did.
Fired.
So you don't feel bad. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.